I guess one of the things that illustrate is that for a small country there's such a variation of landscapes.
But I know that it's better. So much of it. And there's some really beautiful landscapes.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Richard Ells, and I've worked with Cameron McNeish on this new Scottish National Trail. First of all, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to the trustees, the staff and the volunteers here at the Waterfleet Visitor Centre for inviting us here today. Bang on the trail, and I think like much of the Scottish National Trail, full of surprises. It's been a long and ambitious project for us. It's something that Cameron and I are both passionate about. And I'd just like to say two things before I ask Cameron to say a few words about the route itself. First, we're hugely pleased that Scotland now has a national trail that takes us from the borders right up to Cape Wrath. And secondly, we both believe that it's capable of bringing in something like £20 million a year in due course, and that will really help rural regeneration. And we've had some evidence from the previous trails we've done in Sutherland and Skye that that's already beginning to have an effect. Cameron and I have known each other for 21 years. Somewhat incredibly, we met on the top of Europe's highest mountain, Mount Elbrus, and I guess that shows that we both have a passion for wild places. So Cameron, would you like to say a few words about the route and why we're so enthused about both the route and what it will do for Scotland?
Okay, thanks Richard.
You've got 2 minutes and the clock's running.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You've got to excuse Richard, he gets very excited when he comes to towns. He lives in the Highlands, when he sees a bus he gets really excited. God knows what we're like when they've got trams here. But thanks very much for coming out here. We really appreciate you coming out to help us celebrate this wee walk of ours through Scotland. Most of you will be well aware that here in Scotland we have some of the finest walks in the world. And that was recognised just recently when the West Highland Way got into the top 10 of the world's best walks in a little list set up by National Geographic magazine. But we've never had a walk in Scotland that goes from one end of the country to the other. But we have now. The Scottish National Trail goes from Cape Yetton, the rolling hills of the borders, makes its way north to the most northwesterly point in the Scottish mainland at Cape Wrath. And in between it visits some of the finest landscapes that you'll find anywhere. It's a magnificent walk, 470 miles. If you're fit you could probably do it in a month. If you're not so fit you could do it in 6 weeks if you like to have a night off here and there. But the great thing about it is it can be broken down into bite-sized chunks. So you can do a chunk from the borders to Edinburgh, a magnificent walk in itself, or a lovely walk here from Edinburgh through to Glasgow along the canals, which I think is going to be one of Scotland's best kept secrets, or else through the lovely Central Highlands, beautiful Highland Perthshire, through the Cairngorms National Park, and then on to what I think is the pièce de résistance of Scotland's landscapes, the whole of the magnificent northwest.
Good afternoon, First Minister, ladies and gentlemen. I really am quite delighted to be here today and to have the opportunity not just to address you but also to meet up again with my old pal Cameron. I did think I was lacking Cameron's good books, however, when a copy of his book, what's it called? Oh yes, Scotland End to End, arrived in the post. My elation, however, was extremely short-lived when I found his invoice inside the book. It is a signed copy, so I decided to put it on eBay and try to get some of my money back at least. Anyway, enough of my relationship issues. That we're becoming increasingly lazy, convenience-driven, reliant on technology and becoming more remote of each other with the associated problems around physical and mental health. Making facilities available and accessible to people is an important step towards reversing some of the trends of which I spoke earlier. As many of you will know, Scottish Natural Heritage, and it has been mentioned already, is actively involved in establishing and promoting the great trails around Scotland. We welcome Cameron's initiative, and I know our staff have been working with him in raising the profile of long-distance routes in Scotland. These trails open up the opportunity for locals and visitors to discover and enjoy the best of Scotland's nature and landscapes, and to experience our magnificent history and cultural heritage. They provide significant recreation and active travel opportunities alongside economic and tourism benefits. Establishing and promoting a branded network of longer distance routes has been the first step towards realising our vision for the great trails around our country. Our focus is also on strengthening and enhancing this network by working with route managers to improve route quality and user experience of existing routes, and to fill geographic gaps and improve the range of opportunities for users. And finally, I would just like to congratulate my old friend Cameron on not just his vision and ambition for a Scottish Natural Trail, but for his many and varied achievements over his long career, most of which he kept from me. Thank you.
Well, I am told it's been quite a quiet time in Parliament recently. We're hugely encouraged by the support you've given us for this new trail. I'd like you now to do the honours. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Can I probably advise parliamentarians to seek the solace and quietness of the fantastic experience of Scotland's national trail. Can I say, Sid, that I got the invoice as well? I was also struck by Cameron's remark that you could do the whole route in a month if you were fit, 6 weeks if you weren't there. I was thinking of the 5-year term. I just love this concept, Scottish National Trail. I'm not the world's greatest rambler, but I have 3 claims for some sort of participation and ownership on this trail. Because although I'm not, my late mother certainly was, or one of the greatest ramblers in Scotland. She's somebody who could perhaps even out-ramble Cameron McNeish, and she would be absolutely delighted, probably is delighted looking down on today's events. It would make her very proud indeed to have participated in this occasion. Secondly, although from the rolling hills of Kirkgetton to the magnificent tip of Scotland in Cape Wrath, I am not immediately familiar with. I am familiar with the bit we're at now, because the Union Canal towpath went straight past my childhood home in Livgate, and I can honestly say I have walked every inch of the towpath. I have sponsor walked it, sponsor run it, I have sailed across the aqueduct, across the Avon Valley. I know that bit like the back of my hand. So I look forward to finding out more about the rolling hills of the Borders and the magnificent grandeur of the Western Highlands, as everyone who experiences the Scottish National Trail will have the opportunity to do. And the third reason I can claim some ownership is that 2 weeks ago or so, after the Prime Minister's unfortunate experience of not knowing what the meaning of Magna Carta was in American television, the Sun newspaper had a quiz, a gladiated quiz of Scottish political leaders, and I was the only one who got Cape Wrath correct as the northern tip of the Scottish mainland. So for these reasons, I can claim some personal participation in this. The Scottish National Trail, from the Borders to Cape Wrath, well and truly inaugurated.
Thank you very much.
Everybody smiling?
When you go in, I'm laughing at I chuckled and all, and I think that it was good.